Okay, here is a day 7, almost fully 7 days post surgery. So I wanted to wait until day 7 so I could provide a little bit more of an update. I will say the first 2 days were super, super rough. After 2 days, I noticed like a huge increase in my ability to move and just feel stronger. That being said, this whole first week has been really, really tough. I thought that maybe it would have been easier after like 4 days, but it's not. So it's just overall been pretty and to give perspective when I say that, the biggest thing is for a lot of us is that our backs are quite sore. So when they do a 360 tour of your body, liposuction is quite invasive and it really like hurts and bruises quite a bit. And so, being on your spine and stuff like that, it's quite painful. There's also a lot of fluid that builds up on your back, and we don't have drains on our back, so that becomes like a lot of pressure and is quite painful. So although laying down is the best position, it's also quite uncomfortable. But I would say in terms of what I think has like really been helpful in the recovery has been kind of this daily routine that we have, and that routine is kind of like getting up, having a big healthy breakfast, and then at some point during the day having an appointment to go to the hyperbaric oxygen chamber, which it's quite boring if I'm being honest. You go and there's one that you sit in and there's one that you lay in, so you're pretty much naked in there, and they increase the oxygen. It kind of feels like you're in a plane, like the pressure is changing and stuff. There's a TV that you can watch, and you lay down for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then you go home. So that's kind of an outing every day for the first kind of 5 or so days. Mine started on day 2 or 3 because they don't do it over the weekend. So every day, Monday to Friday this week, I'm doing it. And then the other thing that's been really helpful has been the lymphatic drainage massages, which I think I mentioned before. And that is on any area of your body, essentially, that's been treated. So for me, usually they start on my stomach, and it's kind of to help push out any liquid and to make sure there's no fibrosis and, help kind of shape your tissue attaching to the rest of your body. I'd say on the stomach, there's a lot of pressure. So I'd say there's definitely some discomfort. But the most painful part is definitely the back, where there's a lot of bruising. And when they do the massage, there's, a lot of bone too that they're going over. And also a lot of fluid leaking out. So there's a couple incisions on my back, on my spine, and the fluid is actually draining out of the lowest one. And so it's kind of both good and gross at the same time to see all that fluid. Every day there's been less fluid. Even in my drains, there's less fluid, and the color is changing, and they say, when it goes more like yellow, that's a good sign. So it's Friday today, and I'm hoping that early next week I'll be able to get the drains removed, which honestly is just going to be like way more comfortable, and I can actually dress a little bit more normal. In terms of swelling, I've noticed a huge difference from day 1 even to like day 2, day 3, because we're also taking photos, and it's crazy because at first I could see my belly button, but I couldn't see like where it ended. Now I can, so that's like a good sign. And I'm in a compression garment now, so that started at about day 3. And so they call them fajas down here, and they're just like really, really tight compression garments. And so I am starting in a U.S. small U.S. small Colombian medium. And when we first put it on, I could not breathe. I thought it was 5 sizes too small. Keep in mind, you have to lay down on the bed for them to completely close it. It's pretty wild. But yeah, I thought I was dying like the first day I had to wear it. Now though, it fits a lot better. Every day it just like fits better because the swelling is going down, which is crazy. They've given us now a size smaller than that that we're supposed to move into, I think pretty much like by the time that we leave. So that's a little bit of a scary thought. But it definitely helps keep your posture a little straighter and feel like just your muscles are a little more. And if I'm going to be real about the frustrations that I've had, is one of them is in this faja that basically there's a hole where you should be able to pee through, and for whatever reason on my body it's not placed in the right spot. So no matter what position I was in, or how I tried to like pull the faja to the side or whatever, I kept literally peeing myself, and so it was like the most frustrating, disappointing, like just honestly like feeling bad for myself moments, and that was happened for like 3 days straight, and I just wanted to cry and give up because no one wants to be covered in their own pee and having to decide, do they sleep with like a wet butt or do they take it off and not have compression anymore. Anyway, not pretty, but that is the reality. Finally, after trying a bunch of days of different things and different positions of trying to go pee, we actually cut my faja. So we cut it so that the hole was in the right place, and now I can go. So I did not have a meltdown. And when I say meltdown, like internal meltdown, I didn't have that yesterday. So that is great news. I'm also now able to be independent in showering. I'm independent in being able to actually get into bed now. So I can get into bed now on my own. I still don't have the stomach muscles to get up, but it's improving a lot. So, making it to day 6, day 7, things are definitely starting to change. And then in terms of medications, every day I'm getting a needle, which I think is like an anti-inflammatory type thing. I'm getting an antibiotic and an oral pain med as well. But yeah, so overall, I'd say it's just like, again, I'm just shocked that people go home like the day of surgery or one day after at home. I have no idea how I would have done it. Obviously people manage, but yes, it's been super, super helpful. A couple things that have been really useful for me have been obviously like eating a good breakfast in the morning. You don't really know how your appetite's going to be, so trying to like keep on top of eating protein and things like that. Drinking a lot of water, electrolytes, things like that, so buying enough so that you're stocked up with those. Having slippers, because you're just kind of wearing slippers everywhere, so that you're not slipping or anything like that. Also having nightgowns that kind of have buttons in the front, so that you can open them up if your arms can't go over your head. That's been really helpful. I also found robes were really helpful, or like a big sweater that you can throw over, because your temperature is constantly kind of changing up and down. So being ready to adjust to the temperatures and have that close by. The other thing, facial wipes, because at times like it's hard to shower, or you're kind of in and out of, again, temperature changes and you're feeling gross. So being able to like wash your face helps a ton. I got my lashes lifted before, so at least I'm not feeling like as dead. Baby wipes as well. So sometimes you get blood, or in my case, maybe a little pee on myself, or you're just feeling like a bit like you again need a body clean. So baby wipes have been really helpful for that. Oh, also, in case your faja isn't working to go to the washroom, like one of those women pee helpers that can be used for like camping and stuff like that would be really, really useful to have on hand as well. I couldn't find one here in Colombia, so maybe having ordered one before would have been a good idea. So those are just like a few things that have been really helpful, and having everything kind of at arm's reach, because once you're in bed you can't really go anywhere without help. So beside me, I have my water, my electrolytes, my phone, my beeper to call for help if I need it, my eye mask, the temperature control. So like I have this whole pile of stuff right beside me in bed, because otherwise I wouldn't have any control over anything happening. Otherwise I would be kind of left to whatever is within my reach. Other than that, mood is getting a lot better. As I mentioned, it is not for the faint of heart. Has been difficult this first week. It's just been really nice though, because everyone here is going through the same thing. Everyone is having a hard time standing straight. Everyone's back hurts. It just things that make it, you feel like you're not alone, because people who haven't got it done, don't totally understand. Like, I know my mom's trying to understand. She knows I'm in pain, but no one quite gets it, like, if you are in it as well. So having that camaraderie has been really nice. And there's some spouses here too, and they've been super fun and helpful, and, bringing treats and, like, helping us kind of have some get-togethers all together. So that stuff has been really nice for, like, lifting mood for everybody. In terms of actual results, I'm super happy so far. As I mentioned, it's like hard to sort of imagine exactly what it's going to look like, because I'm still so swollen and I have drains, and it just, like, the whole thing just looks like a little bit of a mess. But you can see, as the swelling goes down, like, how flat my stomach is looking. Some of the, like, abdominal marcation is looking really good. I'm really happy with my belly button so far. So everything overall so far I'm really happy with. I should be going in for a follow-up with the doctor either today or early next week. We'll have 3 in total. And so hopefully he'll have some great things to say about the progress. So, I mean, again, I'm sure I'm going to say this is all worth it afterwards. But it's definitely been a little bit of a wild ride actually being in it. So I will post more updates as they come. Otherwise, this is day 7.